Hey everyone, another week, and we're going to learn about diseases this week. There's a lot to teach you on diseases. I don't know if I can get through it all in 15 minutes, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So I hope you're all doing well and staying healthy and going out to the grocery store. So let's talk about poultry diseases. First of all, oh, great. Oh, there we go. First of all, let's talk about preventing diseases. So, in the world of poultry, we vaccinate chickens a lot, especially chickens that are going to be around a long time, and those would be laying hens. So, the two most common ways that chickens are vaccinated is through using water, where the birds actually drink the water and it contains the vaccine, and then they are vaccinated. So, it's like an oral vaccine. The problem is all the birds have to be thirsty. So that's dangerous during summertime because you have to take the birds off water and they will like just totally crowd the water, and the weaker ones won't get water when you turn the water on to vaccinate them. But anyway, and there's some concerns that people feel with the amount of whether your water is hard water or not. If it's hard water, it has high calcium, and sometimes that binds some of the vaccine particles, so the birds can't use them to make their own immunity. Oh, it's so appropriate. We're talking about poultry diseases right now in the middle of a disease epidemic. Perfect. Anyway, the other way that we vaccinate chickens is using an aerosol vaccine. So the aerosol vaccine is probably the most common nowadays. And that is the birds are sprayed or sprayed like literally with like a backpack sprayer, or they use like an orchard sprayer. Kind of goes over the top of the birds. And so birds will get that in their eyes, they'll breathe it in their nose, and it's like a nasal vaccine, which we use in humans, we use that in horses and dogs too. So aerosol is another common way to vaccinate birds. There are some types of vaccination that actually have to be physically injected into the bird. And so there are a few of these. The Newcastle disease, that vaccination, the birds get vaccinated about 4 times for that, and they use several different kinds of vaccines. And they can be administered in water, usually water, I think, for Newcastle. And then the final one, they actually inject it into the leg of the bird. It's an intermuscular injection. And then there's fowl pox, which fowl pox is like chicken pox in chickens. And that is a very unique method. It's the wing stick. So the birds, it's like a little, those things you put in the ends of corn when you're eating corn on the cob? It looks like that. And you dip it in the vaccine and you poke it through the wing web, not actually in the wing, but in the wing web. And that gives them their immunity for that disease. So the problem with, manual vaccination is if you have 100,000 chickens in a chicken house, it's very expensive to catch those birds, and there's no machine that does it. It's all done by people. So here's an aerosol vaccine, and then here's water, of course. And this is the aerosol, of course. We don't want the people, that looks familiar, huh? We don't want the people to be breathing the vaccine because you can actually have a vaccine response, especially with Newcastle disease, causes conjunctivitis in humans. So the purpose of vaccination, of course, is to prevent disease. So the worst diseases, as we know now, are caused by viruses, and those are the diseases that respond best to vaccination. So once the birds are vaccinated, if they're vaccinated properly, and if they're strong and healthy, they'll develop immunity to the diseases they've been vaccinated against. And the way we test immunity is we take a blood sample and we send it to the diagnostic lab and we look for the antibodies in their blood, and that's called an antibody titer. And the antibody titer gives us a reading, an idea of how good our vaccination process was, how good the vaccine was, or it can also say if the birds have already been exposed to the disease. So the problem with vaccines, and this is relevant for today, is vaccines it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for an animal to develop actual immunity against a viral disease once it's been vaccinated. So you can't, in the midst of an epidemic in the bird world or the human world, by starting a vaccination program is not going to save everyone, because it's only going to work if you have a strong, healthy immune system. So that is very relevant to today. So 2 types of immunity. You've probably heard of these in other animals, but in birds we have passive immunity, and passive immunity is the antibodies, literal antibodies. They don't have to build them by their immune system. They receive the antibodies as they absorb the yolk sac as a baby chick. So the passive immunity in a mammal would come from what? Question. Colostrum. So birds obviously are not mammals, they don't produce milk, but in the egg yolk, they have that passive immunity. So anything that the mom hen has been exposed to, and she has acquired immunity to that, she will put those antibodies in that egg yolk. It doesn't affect you. You have bacon and eggs and get, immunity. That doesn't work. You're cooking the egg for one thing, and it's not the same. It doesn't work. You don't have to worry about being vaccinated if you eat an egg. It's not like that. It's the same concept with GMOs. People don't understand. Anyway, so this passive immunity is good in the baby chick, and that's why the breeding hens are always vaccinated very well, because that provides the baby chick that first immunity when it's first hatched. And that is critical because remember, when we vaccinate them, it still takes 2 or 3 weeks to develop immunity. So their passive immunity, the immunity they receive from the hen, lasts about 3 to 6 weeks. And then acquired immunity is either exposure to the disease or received through the vaccination. And typically we don't really start vaccinating birds until they're about 3 weeks old, except one vaccine, and that vaccine is the Marek's vaccine. And if you guys remember that from when we had the broiler chicks at the hatchery, they would inject the eggs when they are transferring the eggs from the incubator to the hatcher, and that's what they're vaccinating for. So those baby birds always already have a jump start on immunity, but that is the only disease that they vaccinate for currently when the bird is still in the egg. Okay, so here's a list of all the diseases that laying hens are typically vaccinated for. So laying hens are around for a long time, right? A laying hen lives 2 years, so she is going to be vaccinated for every possible disease she can encounter. Whereas broilers are just around for 6 weeks, so they typically get just 2 vaccines, and maybe not even this one, but the Marek's is typically given to them. Okay, oops, wrong way. So let's talk about a few diseases. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to get through them all, so you're going to have to do some studying on your own. And I will leave this. I'm not going to give you all the information. I'll give you as much as I can. So the Marek's disease is a viral disease, and it is endemic in the poultry world. It is transferred in the feather dander. And it is, once a bird has been vaccinated, they will shed that virus in their feather dander. And so that's very important to remember. And if you do anything right as a high school ag teacher or as a future poultry producer, when you buy chicks at a hatchery and you're going to have them mail order to your house, or you're going to go to Tractor Supply, or you're going to go to Escalon Feed, or wherever you buy your baby chicks, most baby chicks are vaccinated for Marek's because it is such a deadly disease. And the problem, and what makes it so sad, is the birds don't really show symptoms of Marek's until they're about 6 to 8 weeks. And some types of birds, breeds, are more prone to Marek's disease than others. But this is a picture of a leghorn pullet, and it's typical. It's like they go lame, they can't walk, because it affects their nervous system and causes paralysis. And you can see this little girl down here, she can't walk. She's like spraddle-legged, and you'll think, oh, it's nutritional. There's something wrong with her feet, or it's got something wrong. Well, it's been brewing for 6 to 8 weeks. So right about the time, the bird's 2 months old, you think you're in the clear, you did a good job raising it. Not the case if they have not been vaccinated. So a lot of backyard hatched birds are not vaccinated, and those are prime candidates for this spraddle-legged kind of disease. If a bird has had Marek's or has Marek's, sometimes you'll see they'll have this thing called gray eye. So the color of their iris in their eye is different. So it is very important to make sure birds are vaccinated for Marek's, because there is no treatment. The birds are going to die. It's a viral disease unless they're vaccinated. Okay. Oops. Whoa, Nelly. Okay, here's another one, very important disease. So this disease, it was just wreaking havoc in the poultry industry, and I liken it to the COVID virus in humans right now. because Newcastle is to chickens what COVID-19 is to humans. And that is why we have biosecurity. That is why we quarantine poultry. So Newcastle disease is a disease of chickens primarily. And the thing about it is it has an incredibly high mortality rate. So you can lose up to 90% of the birds in your flock if they get what's called the velogenic strain, which is the highly virulent strain. In other words, the symptoms are very dramatic. The birds would be alive one day and then they can be dead the next. So they have this disease can have a 90% mortality rate, which is very scary, and not to be compared to COVID because it doesn't have that much. But there are other strains. So that is why we vaccinate birds so many times for Newcastle. The other problem with Newcastle disease is many countries do not want this disease in their country. So they actually block the importation of poultry meat. So once California has outbreaks in Newcastle, it prohibits us from exporting our poultry meat. So that is a very, bad economic consequence of this disease. But it is typically brought in the state from birds that are fighting birds, because fighting cocks typically travel a lot. And when one's sick, they're spreading disease to other birds. Okay, let's talk about infectious bursal disease, which can also be called Gumboro or IBD, infectious bursal disease. So this is a relatively new disease. I think it came on the scene about 1970s. And the thing about Gumboro is it's an AIDS-like virus, because what it does is it affects the bird's immune system. And so it makes the bird's immune system weak. And then the bird, A, doesn't respond to any vaccination, and B, if they do get exposed to a disease, they're very likely to get it. So the disease itself is not the problem. The problem is that it causes a reduction in the immune system so much that the birds usually die from a secondary disease. So the other thing about Gumboro is that it sticks around for a long time. And it's a virus. So viruses are dangerous. Remember, those are the things we vaccinate for. So it's kind of like it can stay on, waterers and feed lines unless everything is really, really disinfected. And the symptoms are like this. The birds are droopy. They have kind of a whitish, pasty diarrhea, but a lot of times they're not dying from IBD. IBD just weakens their immune system. And then they get Newcastle disease, or they get laryngotracheitis, they get some other disease. So this is a very bad disease. It destroys the bird's immune system and makes them very susceptible to other types of bacterial diseases. Oh, okay, let's see. I'm having trouble with that. Okay, another disease that is not nearly as, traumatic to birds as it looks uglier than the symptoms is foulpox. So foulpox is a virus, can be transmitted from one bird to the next. It's also transmitted by mosquitoes. And the birds get these weird scabby things on their comb. They also, this is the inside of a bird's mouth, they also get internal pox. So they get like, they're like infections and scabs on the skin. They also get them in their esophagus, and it makes it so they don't want to eat and they don't look very healthy. It has a low mortality rate. The birds don't generally die from it, but it looks ugly. And so if you have show chickens or you have chickens you're trying to take to the sales yard, this is a big no-no. You do not want chickens to have this. This is the wing web vaccination. We do the little wing stick, and I'll try to find that so you can kind of see what it looks like. Okay, I only have about a minute. LT is a respiratory disease, very nasty disease. The birds cough and have a lot of mucus. They have difficulty in breathing. Again, it is a virus, a herpes virus, highly contagious, and it is a plague for the broiler industry. They fight that all the time. MG is probably the most common backyard type of poultry disease. I'm going to have to sign off here because I'm running out of time. You guys are going to have to look at the rest of the slides. Okay, I'm out of here. Talk to you later. Bye.